This episode is brought to you by Mastermind Models and Miniatures and Liber to Monica. Hi guys, welcome to CounterPoints. My name is Connor, and today we're going to be breaking down episode 1 of the Angels of Death series, Blood and Duty, which I am very happy to be bringing you. If you want to watch the entire episode uninterrupted, subscribe to Warhammer TV for $5.99 a month, and if you're in a non-service country, use a VPN. The episode begins with, two angels dwell within us, one who lives in light, the other who waits in shadow and blood. Victory demands we are both. Chaplain Raphael. This speaks to the noble and savage nature present in every Marine descended from the Primarch Sanguinius. Some live more in light, like the noble defenders of humanity, the Lamenters, while others dwell in shadow and blood, like the brutal and bloodthirsty Flesh Tearers. As Blood Angels, the founding chapter, there's a good balance of these attributes in every Marine. This episode does an excellent job of setting up the conflicts in the series. In literature, there are 6 main conflicts writers refer to when they're creating a story. Character versus self, versus society, character versus character, character versus nature, the supernatural, and technology. All of these narrative conflicts are seated in the first episode. So let's start with the first one on screen, character versus the supernatural.
We are the Emperor's will made flesh. For the Emperor! We are taken from the dust. We shed our weaknesses, our frailty. To become angels.
So let's go ahead and break that down. We are greeted by a one-armed Terminator later revealed to be Captain Orvio in a sewer. Beset by gene stealers, he empties his Stormbolter into the charging horde before facing them with his power sword. He meditates that blood angels are taken from the dust, they shed their weaknesses and frailty to become angels. In a previous lore episode, I alluded to the fact that Sanguinius is this universe's version of Jesus Christ, and the Christian parallels continue. The Revenant Legion, who went on to become the Blood Angels Legion and subsequently the Chapter, were known for transforming mutants and monsters into genetic perfection. While serving without their Primarch, they were known as bloodthirsty savages. It was their inner nobility that allowed them to be redeemed in the first place. Not just that, but Blood Angels recruit from the irradiated wastes of Baal itself, taking frail, half-starved desert savages and turning them into physical perfection. By taking the most wretched, resented, and physically repulsive creatures of the universe and calling them to a higher level, this physical transformation alludes to the spiritual path Christ calls the wretched to higher service. The introduction continues with the mastercrafted power sword leading to a droplet of blood, becoming a drop pod, and then the characters of the series being introduced. It's beautifully done and brings us into our next conflict, man versus self and society.
blood I am born. In battle do I live. In light do I rise. In darkness do I fall.
In blood will we be renewed.
Honored Chaplain Raphael.
We are brothers before any other rank.
Is there something you wish of me?
Only to speak to a friend.
I have duties to attend.
Duties beyond this voluntary solitude.
There is nothing I would speak of, Chaplain. I will patrol the lower decks.
I was there to see you succeed in the trials. I watched as you became an angel in both heart and deed. Yet now I look upon a brother that would rather see me a stranger.
We were lost in the storms and are now trapped over this blighted world, kept from returning to blessed Baal. Do you not chafe at this inaction?
Did your service to the Death Watch make you nothing but a weapon, Kazarion? Can you no longer find peace, even here?
What more is a space marine than a sword against the dark? The galaxy burns. We face annihilation. I will not waste any more words.
That threat has always been, since mankind first dragged itself from the surface of Terra. But it is a threat we face together.
As you say.
Nice. So let's go ahead and break that down. Kazarion is in prayer, which is a common meditative practice for the Blood Angels. Because of their savage temperament, they are taught to contemplate 5 angelic graces and 5 warrior virtues. The graces are honor, humility, mercy, restraint, and forgiveness, while the warrior virtues are strength, savagery, abandon, rage, and detachment. Blood Angels have a genetic flaw, making them prone to outbursts of rage and violence, and so they have to temper that impulse with prayer, meditation, caring for their equipment, and creating art. Part of the reason why the ship, armor, and equipment of the Blood Angels is so ornate is because the angels and their serfs spend countless hours creating to tempt them away from their own savagery. Sons of Sanguinius, as they age, can begin to see visions of the death of their Primarch. They can feel the pain and rage of that day. As these visions take hold, they can lose their grip on reality and launch into a berserker rage, attacking and killing everything within reach. These Blood Angels' armor is painted black in mourning. They are restrained and only unleashed on the battlefield, guided by chaplains who direct their fury. By seeing these visions, Kazarion knows he is doomed to this fate, but doesn't know how long he has until he's consumed. The reason Kazarion is so hostile to Raphael is partially because it's Raphael's duty as a chaplain to sniff out this taint in his brothers and to counsel them into the great hereafter. If he admits his visions to Raphael, it is to admit that he is doomed, something that he's not yet ready to admit. Kazarion shows that he is being consumed by the darkness and unable to find peace because rather than speaking of the angelic graces, he can only focus on the virtues of the warrior, which brings us to man versus technology as a conflict.
I had thought to find these vaults empty, Brother Ancaeus.
Brother Hadriel, I did not mean to disturb your rituals.
426 unique impairments to this void ship have kept me and the work crews busy. We were fortunate to find safe harbor over this planet.
It is good to see you, brother. You have been below deck since we broke from the storm.
What brings you to these holds once again?
I would tend what is left. after the battle.
Without an apothecary, it is all I can do to ensure their legacy continues.
You do vital work. I would have your efforts recorded when we return to Baal.
Thank you, brother. If the storms ever break, the ship will be ready.
When, brother, not if.
Ever the light in the dark, Ancaeus. Tell me, does Brother Kazarian fare well?
He has been gone a long time. Perhaps too long.
Are you concerned that the gene seed store is not secure?
I was for a time considered as a novitiate for the sanguinary priesthood. I am protective.
Uncommon, yet you have risen under Captain Orfeo. Command suits you, Sergeant Ancaeus.
Perhaps, yet I once believed my purpose was as caretaker. These fragments taken from our fallen will live on in our initiates. Everything that is flesh perishes, yet we will survive in the blood that flows through those that come after. I speak out of turn.
An intriguing insight. All can be repaired, made again in blood or in iron, and thus attains a kind of immortality. So long as we remember. The machine demands much and takes more. I was made an angel, but then half of my soul was given to the cog of Mars. I do not say this in bitterness. It is merely a truth. You are an exemplary warrior. If you wished induction into the priesthood, why did you not pursue it? Surely High Priest Corbulo would have welcomed.
We do not choose our duty. Only honor in its fulfillment.
So breaking that down, Brother Ancaeus, the ranking sergeant on the ship, inspects the gene seed and confesses to his tech priest brother, Hadriel, that he has a bias towards the protection of the gene seed because it is the future of the chapter. He apprenticed as a sanguinary priest, which is the Blood Angel's version of an apothecary. Sanguinary priests and apothecaries are charged with healing the battlefield wounded and extracting the gene seed of the dead. In every Space Marine grows genetic nodes that include a special mix of the Primarch's own genetic code. Infused with the warriors it has been passed down through. Over time, this code can be corrupted or destroyed, but by dutifully harvesting the gene seed, a chapter of Space Marines can propagate into new generations of Astartes. In the background, you can see 4 rows of gene seed banks with 4 columns each. If each tray has approximately 20 gene seed stored on them, then this is representative of 300 harvested gene seed, which is what would be needed to sustain a company of 100 warriors during full operational tempo. This is a genetic treasure that Ancaeus must bring back to Baal, even if it means his death or the death of his brothers. Tech Priest Hadriel understands this duty, sympathizes with it, because as a Marine who studied on Mars, he marvels at the immortality of man that can be achieved either through technology or blood. Which brings us to character versus nature. The prequel of Shipmistress Sulkin was a solid outing establishing her no-nonsense and aggressive character. Captain Sulkin orders the Orbital Spire to organize a ground force to find Captain Orfeo, which they protest. There is a massive storm preventing communications, and the city may be infiltrated by rebels. Captain Sulkin chafes at the excuses and wishes to be refueled and repaired as quickly as possible to capitalize on any break in the warp storm that marooned them on this planet to begin with. A storm-racked flotilla stands by, waiting for the Sword of Baal to guide them out. The navigator spots a break in the storm, prompting a conflicted choice and our final conflict. Character versus character between Kazarian and Ancaeus.
How long do we have?
Not long, my lord. This is unlike any warp storm I've ever seen.
Why do they not move? Surely their own navigators see this chance.
They are afraid, my lord. The tower has already requested us to lead the flotilla through the storm gap. They're moving as fast as possible to evacuate what's left on the surface.
What of Captain Orfeo?
Still, nothing, my lord. For all that the tower offers us supplies and safe haven, the surface could harbor anything.
It is supposed to be a desolation.
Yet from that desolation, Captain Orfeo has not returned. There is a choice here. To locate the captain's return, or follow our orders to Bar.
Our first duty is to the captain.
As explained, the surface cannot be contacted.
Then we go down ourselves.
Only 11 of us remain on this vessel. The gene seed stored in our hold must be returned to Baal.
And the captain?
He knows our duty.
And it appears I am the only one who remembers what it is to have honor.
How can you say such a thing?
We are not lone warriors here, Khazarian. As you once knew and should remember.
Enough. Honor, duty, blood, and oaths. Our path lies not in one, but upon the blade edge between them. To doubt each other is to be defeated before we face an enemy.
Even in such moments, you still seek to teach us.
What time is better than a crisis?
Report! Emergency signal detected. Code Vermilion. It's coming from the surface. It's weak, but it's breaking through the interference somehow. My lords, it matches Captain Orfeo's beacon.
Prepare for drop pod assault.
We are his sons, forged to grim purpose. In crimson clad, with fire in our hands and fury in our hearts. We are his angels, and our gift is death.
May the Omnissiah's blessings be upon you.
Be ready to recover us once the Thunderhawk is repaired.
Compliance.
Drop pod secundus ready. Drop pod quarters ready.
Ship Mistress, the proximity of the tower is complicating our launch trajectory. The governing machine spirits protest.
Override them.
The blade falls at your word.
Launch!
Yes. Khazarian believes it's their first duty and loyalty to the captain, a principle he feels very deeply because it's later revealed to be an open wound of his. And Caius believes that their duty is with the gene seed and returning it to Baal to ensure that this company survives. Considering they are down to 11 Marines, this is the pragmatic choice. Raphael's counsel is that it's not that either of them are wrong, but it's that their conflicting duties demand of them a higher conduct than their petty squabbling. Leaders are always presented with these choices when in command, and successful Marines balance all of them. Khazarian states he is the only one who remembers what it is to have honor, which chafes everyone in the room. Khazarian may have served with the Death Watch, but he is not the only warrior who has risked death and the Black Rage. This conflict is postponed as the captain's distress beacon overrides all priorities and every Marine besides Hadriel deploys to save their captain. My original breakdowns were a little more than reactions with haphazard commentary, so I'm actually really enjoying going back and diving deeper. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, share, and subscribe, ring the bell, and leave a comment. Post your favorite angelic grace or warrior virtue below, or simply type in comment for the comment gods. Join the Patreon and the Discord if you're so inclined. Check out the sponsors, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Hey you! Yes you. Are you drowning in plastic crack? Do you keep buying models and never have them painted? Is your pile of shame bigger than the models you actually have done? The team at Mastermind Models and Miniatures can help, or M3 Studios if you prefer. The team at M3 Studios and their Mastermind/Master Painter Clay are just like you, addicted to plastic crack and have channeled their addiction into a passion and a profession. They paint kick-ass models to whatever standard or solution you need. Their motto is professional painting services to bring your imagination to life. Trying to just get on the tabletop? M3 Studios can do that. Trying to shock and awe your local game store? M3 Studios can do that too. Want a piece of art that your descendants will fight over at your funeral? M3 Studios can do that, and it's easy. Click on the link or in the description, and you can talk to M3 Studios directly about your commission. Tell them the CounterPoints channel sent you, and not only are you guaranteed an awesome paint job at a fair price, but you help the CounterPoints channel continue to grow. What is there to lose? Stop buying models you will never paint, and instead let Clay and the M3 Studios team help you dominate your local friendly game store and show off the best painted models this side of the Mississippi. Start your commission today.